The medic refused to treat our wounded, so I grabbed the scalpel. This happened during my second deployment to Afghanistan in 2019, at a small outpost in Kandahar province. Our unit had just returned from a patrol when an IED hit the convoy behind us. 3 wounded, 2 critical, blood everywhere, screaming, pure chaos. I'm just a specialist, communications guy, but I'd taken combat lifesaver training like everyone else. Basic first aid, pressure bandages, that's about it. Real medical stuff was way above my pay grade. Our medic, Private First Class Jake Miller, was supposed to handle everything serious. Guy had completed advanced medical training, carried all the gear, new procedures I couldn't even pronounce. But when those wounded soldiers got carried into our aid station, Jake just froze. Stood there staring at the blood like he'd never seen combat casualties before. The worst case was Corporal Tyler Brown. Shrapnel had torn through his abdomen. You could see his intestines. He was conscious, begging for help, losing blood fast. Jake, get over here now, our staff sergeant yelled. This soldier needs immediate surgery or he's gonna die. Jake shook his head, backing away from the wounded. I can't do it. That's not field medicine, that's real surgery. I'm not qualified for that level of trauma. What do you mean you can't do it? You're the medic. Jake was panicking, his hands shaking, voice cracking. I never trained for this. Basic wounds, yes, gunshots maybe. But this? He needs a real doctor, not some kid from Michigan who took a few medical classes. Meanwhile, Tyler's getting weaker, skin turning pale, his breathing getting shallow. The other wounded soldiers were bleeding out while our medic had a mental breakdown. That's when I stepped forward. Jake, give me your kit, now. Jake stared at me like I'd lost my mind. What are you talking about? You're a radio operator. You don't know medical procedures. I don't know advanced procedures, I said, grabbing his medical bag. But I know Tyler's gonna die if nobody does something right now, and you're obviously not gonna help him. The aid station went quiet except for Tyler's labored breathing, everyone watching to see what would happen next. I opened Jake's kit, found the scalpel. My hands were shaking, but I remembered the combat lifesaver training. Stop the bleeding, stabilize the patient, do whatever keeps them alive until real help arrives. I started cleaning Tyler's wound, trying to see how bad the damage really was. Worse than I thought. Shrapnel had nicked his intestine in 3 places. This was way beyond anything I'd ever learned. But sitting there doing nothing meant watching Tyler die. So I started working. Used forceps to remove metal fragments, clamped bleeding vessels, even attempted some basic suturing on the worst tears. It wasn't pretty. Probably violated every medical protocol in existence. But after 20 minutes, Tyler's bleeding had stopped. His breathing improved. Color started returning to his face. The helicopter arrived an hour later. Real Army surgeons took over, flew Tyler to the field hospital in Bagram. He survived. Jake got pulled from medical duties immediately, transferred to supply, never worked as a medic again. Word spread fast that he'd refused to treat wounded soldiers under fire. Tyler recovered completely, spent 2 months in Germany, then returned to duty. When he came back, he pulled me aside. Doc told me what you did out there. Said your field surgery probably saved my life. Bought me enough time to reach real medical care. I tried to downplay it, just did what anyone would do. No, Tyler said firmly. Jake's supposed to be trained for this stuff, and he walked away. You're a communications specialist who stepped up when it mattered. That's the difference between a soldier and a coward. 3 months later, I got called to the company commander's office. Expected to get in trouble for practicing medicine without proper training. Instead, Captain Wilson offered me a transfer to medical training school. Your performance under pressure shows real potential, he said. We need medics who won't freeze up when soldiers are dying. I accepted. Spent the next year learning proper medical procedures. Became a certified combat medic, deployed twice more in that role, treated dozens of wounded soldiers, saved lives that might have been lost. Jake finished his enlistment working supply, never re-enlisted. Last I heard, he was working at a hardware store in Michigan. Tyler made staff sergeant, completed 3 more deployments, still sends me Christmas cards. Always signs them the same way. Thanks, Doc. I kept that scalpel from Jake's kit. It sits on my desk now. Reminder that sometimes the most important qualifications aren't found in training manuals. They're found in the willingness to act when others won't.